Crazy Lizard was tired. He had spent the entire day farming rice wheat and hemp so he could brew more rum. It was his job to produce enough for the clan to sell, keeping their coffers stocked. Ever since Crazy Lizard smoked that special hashish that Hayes made, he had never really felt the same. Visions would often come to him in his sleep as mere glimpses, never revealing their true intent. Were they things that would happen, or things that could happen? As Crazy Lizard drifted into sleep, a whiteness appeared. It was another vision. A large ship briefly came into view, sailing towards the shore. When the vision faded, Crazy Lizard began to question its intentions within his mind. Where was it headed? What is its purpose? Another vision appeared, this time showing a number of warriors standing by the shore. An evil-looking man with a long blue beard stood with his men looking towards the east. The vision faded. Crazy Lizard questioned his mind once more. Who are these men, and why have they come? The last vision appeared, this time showing the Hive Queen. Even though Crazy Lizard left his colony, the connection he had with his queen was still strong. The Hive Queen looked at Crazy Lizard, her eyes piercing his soul. They are coming! Crazy Lizard couldn't make out the additional words being formed by his queen when the vision disappeared. Darkness overcame him. Glitch had been traveling for days. It seemed like forever since he saw the coast. Something about the fresh air drove him towards the ocean now and again. Glitch was a wanderer, often traveling from place to place, never staying anywhere for too long. When he was young, his family was murdered by bandits, forcing him to fend for himself. An orphanage took him in and provided him with shelter, but he didn't stay for very long. The world is harsh, but he had grown into the man he is today because of it. He learned how to fight and survive the elements on his own. The bandits who murdered his family were never caught. Glitch swore that he would avenge his family and that he would one day find the bandits responsible and make them pay. Glitch was headed towards a small village on the coast where he hoped he could buy a few supplies before heading back inland. Stopping short of the entrance to the village, Glitch could hear shouting coming from inside. "Open the door, woman, before we break it down!" The woman was crying, scared for her life. "Help! Someone, please help me!" The bandit laughed. "No one is going to hear you out here. Everyone who could hear you is dead. Ha 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 ha!" Glitch rushed towards the entrance to get a better view of the situation. The bandit in charge looked at his friend, smashing his fists together. "Let's break the door down." "Hey, ugly," Glitch snapped. "You're going to have to go through me first." The bandits turned towards the entrance, eyeing Glitch up and down. "Well, what do we have here? A pretender with a fancy sword?" the bandit leader questioned. Glitch chuckled as he moved to position himself between the bandits and the door. "Get lost, stranger. We're not leaving until we take what's in that house, and I mean everything." The bandit leader blew a kiss to the crying woman above. "It's a real shame, you know. I just cleaned my sword this morning." Glitch sighed, lifting his massive two-handed sword out of its scabbard. Without a moment's notice, Glitch leapt towards the bandit leader, bringing the full weight of his two-handed sword down upon his head, killing him instantly. The second bandit screamed as he sliced at Glitch, cutting him on the sides and arms. After blocking a series of attacks, Glitch returned the favor with another overhead strike. The blow struck the bandit's head, sending him into the netherworld. Glitch checked his wounds to make sure his cuts weren't any worse than they looked. "Just a scratch," Glitch whispered. Glitch motioned with his hands to the woman above. "It's safe. You can come out now." The woman took her time, cracking the door open slightly and peeking her head through to make sure she was safe. "Thank you so much for your help. If you hadn't come, these men would have done horrible things to me." The woman shuddered at the thought. "It's no problem at all," Glitch assured the woman. Tears began to form on the woman's face as she started to cry for her murdered parents. "I'm sorry for your loss," Glitch apologized. "Let me get rid of these two, and I'll help you bury your parents." Later that evening, Glitch sat resting his aching feet inside the woman's home. She had told him her name was Scarlett and that she lived in this small fishing village with her parents her entire life. Scarlett had offered him shelter for the night. It was her way of thanking him for coming to her aid. The next morning, Scarlett greeted Glitch as he packed his bags. "I won't forget what you did for me," Scarlett said, placing a hand on his chest. Where will you go? Glitch held her hand back. Wherever the road takes me. Scarlett nodded. Glitch turned and began to walk away. Wait, I never caught your name, Scarlett yelled. Glitch yelled his name back to her and continued walking along the path towards the east. The burning forest was a welcome sight for Bajor as he closed in on his final destination. He had traveled all the way from Drifter's Last with the ambition of joining the Dragon Clan. Word had spread about the Dragon Clan's exploits, their building of the Thunderdome and their recently held Thunder Games, their assault on the Holy Nation's mining operation. All his life, Bajor wanted to make his father proud and bring glory to his name. Joining the Dragon Clan was his best chance at making that a reality. As Bajor neared the top of the hill, he stood to look at moonshine in the Thunderdome in all its glory. It was a magnificent sight. He was definitely in the right place. When Bajor approached the gates of moonshine, he could see the turrets from the ramparts above aiming towards him. Bajor gulped. My name's Bajor, and I'm looking to join the Dragon Clan. Aviticus had been filling in on guard duty since Apple and her friend's disappearance. It had left the clan in a crippled state more than anyone cared to admit. Give us a good reason why you think you are worthy enough to join us. We don't just accept anyone into our clan, Aviticus questioned. Bajor could see the Hiver was serious. I'm a better swordsman than any of your warriors, Bajor said confidently. Aviticus almost choked with laughter. Cookie looked down at Aviticus, waiting for his approval. Cookie smash? Aviticus put his hand on the giant Shek warrior. No, my big friend. Since he says he can defeat our best swordsman, let's have him prove it. Aviticus yelled for the gates to be opened. Get Mr. Killer out here! Tell him he's got a challenger! Word spread throughout the clan as members climbed the ramparts and towers above to get a good view of the action. Did this Bajor character really think he has a shot at defeating Mr. Killer, the clan's best swordsman in single combat? Aviticus pondered. Mr. Killer nodded to Aviticus as the gates closed behind him. Bajor stood his ground, watching Mr. Killer walk down the steps and stop a few yards away from him. Mr. Killer's stare sent chills through Bajor's bones. The clan was silent, watching and waiting to see who would make the first move. Bajor and Mr. Killer drew their swords simultaneously. With a quick strike, Bajor sliced Mr. Killer in the chest, causing him to lose his balance. Furious, Mr. Killer fought back, slicing at Bajor's right side. Mr. Killer used the advantage to swing at Bajor's head. Bajor blocked the attack and returned with a riposte, bringing his blade across Mr. Killer's chest and head. Blood began to drip down Mr. Killer's face, blurring his vision. Regaining his composure, Mr. Killer sliced back at Bajor, cutting him on the shoulder. The duel continued with both warriors exchanging blows, cutting each other in the arms and stomach. With one last assault, he sliced at Bajor with everything he had. A quick riposte and flurry of blows sent Mr. Killer stumbling, allowing Bajor to land the final blow to end the fight for good. Mr. Killer fell to the ground unconscious and bleeding from his wounds. Whispers could be heard throughout the clan from the ramparts above. Mr. Killer lost? I can't believe he defeated Mr. Killer. Even Yeflin couldn't best him. Aviticus walked down the stairs and approached Bajor, eyeing the man who had just defeated their best swordsman up and down. Motioning with his hand, Aviticus called for Cookie to come and take Mr. Killer away. You weren't kidding when you said you could defeat our best swordsman, Aviticus grimaced. Where did you learn to fight like that? A little bit here, a little bit there, Bajor confessed. I've been in my share of fights. Well, you definitely have some skill, and you've proved your worth, Aviticus approved. Bajor nodded. Aviticus waved his hand. Come on, let's get those wounds looked at. Bajor followed Aviticus, limping towards the gates. Aviticus raised his arms towards the walls of moonshine. Welcome to the Dragon Clan. The cheers from the clan members echoed across the sand. The burning forest was Yeflin's favorite place to go when she needed peace of mind. The clan had been busy celebrating the addition of its newest member, but the constant cheering was giving her a headache. Yeflin would often visit the forest to meditate and to take her mind off of things. A Shek warrior hid behind a tree, eyeing Yeflin from above. It's her! The Shek warrior's partner put his finger across his lips. Shh! Quiet! Don't let her hear you! Yeflin stroked the stumps where her horns used to be as she thought about her life before she joined the Dragon Clan. She and her warriors had lost an unwinnable battle against the Kral's Chosen. Somehow Yeflin survived the battle when all of her warriors had perished. Upon her return, she was branded a coward and stripped of her status. The removal of her horns would let all Shek know of her dishonor. Yeflin shook her head, angered by the thought. Aviticus and the Dragon Clan had taken her in when no one else would give her a chance. They had approached her envious of her experience and treated her as an equal. She was a warrior and they respected her. She was truly grateful to have friends that cared. The sun peeking up over the horizon meant that dawn was quickly approaching. Yeflin needed to get back to moonshine. As Yeflin continued her way down the hill, 4 figures emerged, standing at the bottom. They appeared to be expecting her. Yeflin stopped in her tracks. It was Selene and her unit, Isada the Stone Golem's personal assassin. "It's been a long time, Yeflin," Selene smiled. "A little bird told us we could find you here." Yeflin approached Selene with a puzzled look. "Why have you come?" "I had to confirm the reports for myself when we heard that a dishonored Shek was out making a name for herself," Selene informed. 3 figures emerged from the top of the hill, approaching Yeflin from behind. It was the rest of Selene's unit. "I'm afraid that Isada the Stone Golem can't have a hornless Shek outdoing her own warriors," Selene snorted. "To think that some of our warriors believe you could actually rival her greatness." Yeflin yelled at Selene. "My horns were removed and my title was stripped. What other price will I have to pay before my own kind will let me be?" Selene raised her hand and closed her fist, motioning her warriors to attack. "Sometimes the price of glory is death." Yeflin's roar boomed throughout the forest. Yeflin lunged towards her enemies, swinging her mooncleaver with a fury. The attacks from her enemies came from every direction, making it hard for Yeflin to block them. Yeflin caught one of her attackers by surprise with a slice to the side, knocking them down to the ground. With another strike, she swung behind her, landing a blow against the skull of another opponent. Selene stood her ground, yelling at her men to get up. A series of strikes glanced off Yeflin's armor, exposing the attackers to her strikes. Yeflin swung her mooncleaver ferociously, cutting into her enemy's armor and knocking them down. The battle raged on as the knockdown warriors began to slowly pick themselves up to rejoin the fight. The warriors shouted their battle cries, almost as if Yeflin had made them more angry by knocking them down. Their swings came at her too fast to block, penetrating through her armor. Yeflin yelled as cuts sliced her on her arms and legs. A fragment axe hit Yeflin in the head, cracking her helmet. Yeflin screamed as Selene's Nodachi sliced down her exposed back. Blood started to leak onto the ground. Raising the mooncleaver high, Yeflin jumped towards Selene, slicing her across the stomach. Yeflin pulled her mooncleaver back, exposing herself temporarily, as she brought the full weight of her weapon against all of her opponents in one giant swing. Her attackers screamed as they received a heavy wound across the chest. An overhead strike caught Selene and another off guard. Selene saw an opening and swung at Yeflin's neck, slicing into her flesh. Yeflin let out a scream so loud it could have woke the dead. Her body fell to the ground, lifeless. Selene and her unit patched up their wounds and stood over the body of Yeflin. "Isada is going to reward us greatly for this," Selene informed her men. "Let's go. We need to pick up the rest of our payment from our little bird." One of Selene's men spoke up. "He's paying us too?" Selene laughed. "Why get paid by one person when you can get paid by 2? He wanted her out of the picture. All I did was make Isada want her out of the picture too." Selene's unit howled with laughter as they limped away down the hill, leaving Yeflin's body for the crows.